Good evening and welcome to today's semifinal press conference. We are joined by members of Utah Gymnastics, head coach Tom Farden, student athlete Maile O'Keefe, student athlete Grace McCallum. Coach, we will begin with an opening statement from you, followed by an open time for questions. Please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged, and please state your name and affiliation when asking a question. Coach, we will now begin with your opening statement.
Just continue to be impressed with this group of athletes and the way they represent the University of Utah into their competitive spirit. And I've said it all along this year in terms of their ability to dig deep and never give up and turn around the corner and just really push. And it was evident tonight that they were in good headspace. I really thought it was a tale of two halves. The first two events were good, solid. But then we really felt as a staff the second two events were brilliant. So I think that's what pushes over the edge and turns, getting into the Final Four again. But really the biggest thing that pushes over the edge is their trust in each other, their confidence, and their ability to do amazing gymnastics for each other.
Thank you, Coach. We will now open the floor for questions. Front row.
Josh Royal on KSL.com. Miley, Jordan gets her perfect 10, middle of your routine. It's going a little crazy in the gym, but you're in there and you stay committed and get your 10. I mean, what was that experience like, just being able to hear that, but then also just to get your 10?
I think while I was on the beam, I could hear the commotion, and I kind of figured something amazing happened. And I'm really proud of Jordan for that. It's a hard feat at nationals. You have to get at least 5. But I mean, it's kind of happened before, same exact teams, they always end up doing really well while we're on beam, and you just kind of have to stay in your bubble and stay focused, and that's exactly what I did, so.
Yes, over here, right.
Tom, Trent Wood, Deseret News. You said after the Pac-12 championships that was like the grittiest win you could remember for Utah in your career. Does this top that?
I have a short memory. This is the grittiest win in my time at Utah, definitely. And just, it was a little bit smoother sailing. I thought there was more significant mistakes that we had to rebound back from. And as you can see, the athletes continue to get dialed in and iron out those wrinkles. In terms of clamping down and really competing aggressively with confidence, they did that tonight.
Back here, third row.
Yeah, Kent McInville with Double Back with Kenty Mac. Miley, I'm wondering if in all your goals coming here to Fort Worth, if all-around national champion was even on the bucket list at all?
No. I thought it was gonna be impossible to win with Yurchenko full. I'm obviously at just a slight disadvantage right from the get-go. There's no way I can get a perfect 40. And so, all I could really do is just go out and give my best in every event, and that's what I did. And it was an amazingly unexpected result, so I'm really proud of myself.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Over here on the second row.
Brandis Hefner, College Gym News. With your 2 wins today, Miley, you are now just 2 wins away from having the whole resume of titles at nationals. What is the plan to get to a ball title next year, and what do you guys think it's going to take to win a championship Sunday or Saturday?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think Saturday we're just gonna have to come in, rinse and repeat with a little bit of mouthwash, But I think, on Saturday we just really need to stay in our bubble and stay focused on us. And if we do that, I think we can come out as NCAA champions. And I think that'll probably be the most fulfilling NCAA champion national title that I will have with my teammates and stuff. I think it's just, I've done a lot of things by myself, and they're never just as fulfilling as when you win a Pac-12 title with your team or hopefully an NCAA title. In terms of vault, I'll probably have to get in the gym and work on 1.5 and try to dial that down by the time NCAA comes next year. And so I guess we'll see if that really happens, but we'll see.
Yes.
Patricia Duffy with Gymnastics Now. Grace, I wanted to ask you about your return. So did you think with the extent of your injury that you would be able to make it back? I know that was kind of up in the air. And then also, what has that road been like to get back out there?
So the road here was kind of tough. Getting hurt like that late in season, but also having enough time. I didn't know if it was possible. but I didn't really let that get to me. I kind of said, you know what, if you want to compete at nationals, you're going to do everything you can. So I went in the gym extra days, I did extra workouts, and did everything I could to get back here, and just did all the PT. It definitely wasn't an easy road, but it was so worth it, and it made nationals this year just so much more meaningful, and just the team support throughout the whole journey coming back has been unmatched. It's been amazing.
Just a follow up to that. When did you actually like get back in the gym? Like timeline?
Well, I was back in the gym right away. I was doing
Okay.
everything I could, like therapy, and then I guess it was a couple weeks ago, like last week, I started doing dismounts on bars on landings, and then beam. I did my first beam routine just last week on Tuesday.
Yes, right here, Trent.
Josh Farrell on KSL.com. Tom, you guys are in a precarious spot in that midway through the meet. Did you have to say anything? I mean, you've talked a lot about this season where they just kind of, your gymnasts continue to kind of excel throughout, but was there anything you had to say or kind of walk us through that moment?
No, Miley took care of it. I mean, to be honest with you, the leadership, and I conveniently call them six-pack. You know, we meet frequently, and we always have a game plan, and they're almost extension of the coaching staff. And so we've always felt that Utah pure leadership is the best leadership. And I saw Miley over there talking to them after the ball rotation, and then they went out on bars and put that piece of artwork down, and then did it again on balance beam. So, you know, in terms of once we're in the meet, you know, at this point in the stage, I think they're tired of hearing from the coaches, so we just let them go.
Yes, right here.
Grace, I'm curious, you had a serious hand injury before the Olympics. Did you lean on your experience of coming back from that injury with this injury, or was it just completely different because it was a different injury?
I feel like I took some things from my hand injury, just knowing how close it was to the Olympics. But this one being in season was a lot harder on me mentally, just because I love being out there competing so much, and having to watch from the sidelines can be hard at times. And I mean, I love cheering for my team, but it's just not the same as being up there. But I did lean into that a little bit, and I knew, you know, if I can get back and make the Olympic team after that, I can make it back this season.
Sorry, I had a little bit of a brain fart. Miley, I wanted to ask you about what is the six pack actually? Sorry, I know you mentioned the six pack. Is that like the girls, like a specific set of leaders? And I guess you're leading the six pack.
Oh, there's not one leader within the six pack, honestly. We kind of all have very different personalities, and we have very different leadership styles. But yeah, pretty much consists of the four seniors, so Jillian Hoffman, Abby Paulson, Jaden Rugger, and myself. And then the two super seniors, Abby Brenner and Crystal Issa. And so, like Tom said, we meet with him frequently, that we were all on the same page and we can all have the same goals and mindset.
Josh Farrell on KSL.com. Grace, I know. Why do I have to say it? Grace, after the bars, the emotions just kind of came to you. I mean, kind of walk us through that. I mean, obviously, it's been a long journey to get back here, but just kind of what you were thinking at that moment.
Right when I finished my routine, I knew, I was like, dang, I really did that. Like, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to stick my dismount because I just started doing them just a couple days ago, but it felt really good. It felt probably the most accomplished feeling I think I've felt my whole gymnastics career. And I told myself I wasn't going to cry, but then I just couldn't help it. And just the amount of support I had from the team in the moment, it was just unreal. And so it just kind of started flowing.
We'll take one final question. Yes, third row.
Yeah, so for all of you, this was a pretty stacked session. Even UCLA's score would have qualified from the earlier session. Were you kind of aware of how tight this was, or do you kind of think that helps prepare you for Saturday?
It definitely helps prepare us. I think we all kind of knew coming in that our session was pretty stacked. That's just the way the dice rolled. And so, you know, all we had to do is keep our heads down and keep going. And, you know, I think that every team in our session and the other session are amazing, and it's an amazing feature to be here. And I think just kind of knowing that, and then it definitely helped prep us for Saturday, just kind of moving forward and seeing the best and competing against the best. So
I just want to speak on behalf of the, there's so many talented athletes in the NCAA in this format of 8 and then 4 and staying in your bracket. And what you have to do just to get here, as everybody knows, there was only 3 repeated teams just to get to the Elite 8. And then now with the Final Four, it's a gauntlet, and the talent and the parity and just everybody's gymnastics at this level is exquisite. And so, you know, we're very fortunate to be in this position. So thank you.
Grace, any thoughts on that question?
They pretty much covered it. I just would like to add, like, coming in, I knew it was going to be a hard session, but I knew that, you know, our team deserved to be here just as much as everybody else. I mean, everybody worked so hard, and so remembering that we are enough and we deserve this spot was just a great setup, I think, for tomorrow, just knowing it's going to be just as hard.
Grace, Miley, Coach Farden, I appreciate you being here. Congratulations on advancing. We'll see you on Saturday.